Your Instagram bio is the first thing people look at when they come to your Instagram account. It might look like a small part of your Instagram profile, but it's super important to get right if you want to grow your following and attract more of your ideal customers who will love and buy your products. So that's why in this video, I'm going to share with you my top tips for how to write a great Instagram bio. Hi, my name is May Pak, and I help makers, artists, and designers make a consistent income from selling their handmade products online. So first, let's think about how people use Instagram. One of your posts may get recommended in the feed. It may be one of the top posts for a hashtag. People are gonna look at your photo, and then what's the next thing they do? They'll click on your name and go to your account to see if they want to follow you. This is where a decision is made. If your bio doesn't make any sense, or if they can't tell what you do, they're not going to make the decision or the effort to follow you. Whereas if you have a compelling bio that really connects with your customer, they're going to click follow. Now your posts will appear on their feed more often. They're giving you permission to be in their feed all the time because they're interested in what you do and they want to see more. That decision to follow you happens really quickly. So whatever you can do that's within your control to encourage someone else to follow you, you want to do it right. Now, when it comes to your bio, you don't have a lot of space to write a lot of information. It's much harder to write a short piece of text than something longer as well, right? So it might take you some time to figure this out, and that's totally normal. Another quick thing is you want to make sure your niche is already really defined if you want to do this right. It's really hard to talk to your customer in a relevant way if you don't know who the heck your customer is. So you'll want to watch my video on how to find out who your customer is before you get started. Now let's start with tip number 1 to writing a great Instagram bio. Check your Instagram name. Your name is searchable, and you might want to use a different name from your Instagram handle or username. So let's just take Creative Hive as an example. So Creative Hive Co. is the name of my business, and I've chosen to use this as my Instagram username or handle. Now there is another name I can use that appears underneath my Instagram username, and I can use my own personal name, May Pak, or I can type anything else I want in here. This name is one of the only searchable items on Instagram, so I can use my personal name and type in May Pak, but probably not a lot of people are searching for my name on Instagram. When people come to Creative Hive, they're searching for information about how to sell handmade products online, right? So you want to pick a name that includes keywords that's searched more often. As of this recording, I've used the name Make a Living with Your Craft. You only have 30 characters to enter in here, so it has to be short and snappy, using highly searched keywords, and is something that's relevant and speaks to your ideal customer. But this depends on the business. Some businesses are very tied to the identity of the business owner. For example, if you're a jewelry designer and you're the face of your brand, then you might want to use your own personal name here. But let's say you make handmade goat soap and your business name is Bella's Handmade Goat Soaps. Your actual personal name probably isn't very important to people. I mean, most people don't even know I am the owner of my jewelry business, Tiny Hands, much less know my name when they shop at my jewelry shop. But maybe for Bella Handmade Goat Soaps, you want to use something like Extra Gentle Soaps as your name. So take some time to think about whether you should use your personal name, your business name, or your business tagline, because this is searchable and could be one way you get more people coming over to your Instagram profile if you're strategic about it. Tip number 2, a good bio should be descriptive, clear, and concise. Usually it's something that's only a couple of words and it's meant to instantly describe your business to anyone. It should just be a few words. How would you describe your business to someone who's never come to you before, who is a total stranger? Think of it like an elevator pitch. So you're in an elevator with a total stranger and they ask you what you do for a living. You've got a few seconds to tell them what you do before they step out of the elevator. You don't have a lot of time to tell your whole story, so it's important that you're really clear about what that story is. And this itself can take you years to figure out because that's how long it took me. My elevator pitch is, I make scented food jewelry. They look like little cupcakes and waffles and they smell like what they look like. In the example before with Bella's soaps, you can say, I make organic goat milk soap, and they're really great because they're extra gentle on the skin. So spend a little bit of time working on how you can convey the what you do, what you sell, what your business is all about, and what makes it different to someone who isn't familiar with your business yet. Also, remember, this is your business. So I've talked before in my Instagram mistakes video about how it's a bad idea to blend your personal stuff in your business account. If this is your business account, you should be treating it like a business. And that doesn't mean you shouldn't have pictures of you on your account or be personable, but saying things like you're a dog mom probably isn't fitting into the most important sentence that you have to tell people about your shop, right? So this goes back to identifying your niche, identifying your ideal customer, thinking about your elevator pitch. What are the most important things you need to convey to your audience? And your personal things probably won't be at the top of that list. Tip number 3, it's really important to get the tone right for your audience. So if you have a younger demographic, then being fun and creative with your choice of words is one way to attract and appeal to that audience. If you have an older audience that's more refined, then using a lot of emojis and exclamation points might not be the best way to appeal to them. For example, with my jewelry business, because my stuff is most often bought for kids, I'm using easier to understand words like super cute jewelry instead of words like adorable jewelry or delightful jewelry. Those words don't appeal to kids as much. Tip number 4. Now, you don't get a lot of space, and we've already spent some of that space describing what we do. The last thing you want to include is a call to action. So on Instagram and all of the social media networks, you don't have these people forever. The average person, even if they follow you, only sees 1 to 5% of your posts, and that's not a lot. So what you ideally want to do is move your followers onto another marketing platform that you do have control over, and that's your email list. You want to not only have people following you on Instagram, but also get them onto your other platforms, right? And so a call to action is a direct instruction telling someone to go do something. Using calls to action are super important for your business, and it's been proven to get more traffic, more click-throughs, more sales when you use calls to action than without. So for example, you might want to say, sign up for my email list and get a free gift. A call to action that tells people what they should do and what you want them to do. Tip number 5, let's talk about the link in your bio. In the entire Instagram ecosystem, you only get one link that lives in your bio, and that link is clickable. Because you only get one link, you need to be super strategic about what link you choose to send people to. I like using the link to a landing page where I can get people to sign up for my email list. That way I can keep communicating with them, and they're much more likely to buy from me later on. A common mistake I see people make is linking directly to their homepage of their website. And unfortunately, most people who go to your website will leave in a few seconds, and they'll leave without buying anything. And then they're gone forever, and your next chance of getting them to come to your site again is you can hope that your next post will show up on their feed on Instagram again. And we all know that that chance is really low. However, if you do need to have multiple links and you're, say, linking to a specific product listing, which is like maybe a featured product in a post that you had recently, then you can use workarounds to having multiple links on your Instagram. So Linktree is one workaround, and Later also has a feature that can do that. There are lots of apps and services you can use to have multiple links in your bio, so do some research about it. It's always changing. But what this does is your one link in bio becomes a URL that takes you to a page that has the multiple links on it. It does create one more step for the other person, so I'm not always a huge fan of using this, but if it suits your business, then here's how you might want to use it. So let's say I'm just going with the soaps example from before. Your link could be a Linktree page, and you would put in the various links that you want up there, and you're highlighting your best link. Your link in bio could be a Linktree page, and you would put in the various links that you want up there, and you're highlighting your best links, right? So your first one would be a link to shop your best-selling soaps, and then they would click the link and go directly to your shop collection page of bestsellers. The second link might be subscribe to our email list, and that would take them directly to a newsletter sign-up form or a landing page where they can go do that. The third link might be why goat milk soap is awesome, and they would click in on that link and go directly to like a blog post or a article on your website. So when people say link in bio, right, whatever link that is, that could also go into your link tree, and you could keep a rotating collection of links in there. Tip number 6, emojis. So emojis can be a great way to break up your profile a little bit and make it easier to read, and they're also really space efficient. Emojis are also a good way to express tone and branding. I like using emojis because they're a great way to make your bio more interesting and also more eye-catching, especially because some emojis are so colorful. You definitely don't want to go overboard here because you can very quickly make your bio look really messy if you use too many emojis. Tip number 7, which is less of a tip but more of a warning about using fonts. So fonts can be fun, but be careful using them because not all people have the same fonts on their devices. I can't tell you how many times I've seen bios that are just a bunch of little boxes, and the reason this happens is the person was using a special font that I don't have installed on my device, which makes it so that I can't read the bio. When you're running a business, you want as many people to be able to see your stuff as possible, so keep things accessible. Just use the default font and don't try to get too creative here. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more handmade business tips. Leave a comment if you have any questions, and then stay on to watch this next video on the screen. Thanks for watching.